Well, welcome everybody to our 2022 MESA USA National Engineering Design Competition closing ceremonies. I know you all are very excited to see what comes next. You all have been working very, very hard, and we won't prolong it too much longer. And I promise that this will not even last as long as it's scheduled, but thank you for being with us these last 2 days. As mentioned earlier, my name is Anita Gonzalez, and I've had the pleasure of being both the NEDC chair for this past year, as well as one of your hosts for the NEDC competition. In a traditional year, we would be in person, and right now we have an amazing slideshow of lots of in-person pictures and all the good things that you guys did over these last few days. So with that, we're doing it the digital way. So, on the slide is just a summary, of what we were able to accomplish over these past 2 days and accomplish digitally nonetheless. So I know you guys have been glued to your computer over these last couple of days. We want to thank you for your patience and thank you for taking this journey with us. Our goal when we were tasked with coming up with a virtual competition in a virtual format was to engage your senses as best as able over the computer. So you had lots of tastes and smells of New Mexico. Hopefully you got your goodie package and were able to share some of the goodies that we sent your way. The items that were sent were very intentional. Just some facts about what you were sent. The Biscochito cookie is actually our state cookie here for the state of New Mexico. All of the goodies made with pecans and piñons. Those are 2 major crops here in our state, and those Southeast New Mexico is famous for their pecans or pecans, depending upon who you ask. And our piñon nuts are more native to northern New Mexico. And actually our state capital, if you have it, or state question, I should say, if you haven't already known, chili is kind of a thing for us here in New Mexico, with our official state question being red or green. So if you ever come this way, make sure and be prepared to answer that question, red or green. Other things that we tried to do was to engage your auditory senses. So we hope you were able to enjoy with us the music stylings that we had today during the pitch presentation. A little bit of tangibility as best as we could through virtual reality. For those that were able to join us on the Oculus event last night, but the Oculus event, I think my son actually walked in when I was in the middle of the game, touching and yelling out orders. So it's pretty entertaining, I think, for him to watch all of us in that session. And I do want to take some time to thank the many people that helped pull this all together. First, I want to thank huge thanks to my fellow colleagues here at New Mexico MESA. It has been an honor and a privilege to have you all work with you over this last few days. They have been wrangling little emojis getting into workshops. They have been moderating workshops. They have been emceeing. They have been helping with content. So just very big thanks to New Mexico MESA for pulling this off to share with all of you all. I want to also thank our NEDC committee. All year long, we've been meeting to make sure that, everything regarding the competition and contents and everything, is set for you all. So big thanks to all the NEDC committee and all the representatives from each state to make this national collaborative happen. I want to thank all of our special guests and our partners. We're very fortunate here in our state to have some amazing partners and some very distinguished champions of the MESA program. Thankful to our Lieutenant Governor for taking time out, thanking for all the executive directors that were making their time, or all of our partners that donated volunteers and all that other good stuff, just to make sure that New Mexico was a great host for you all. On that note, I want to thank all the MESA USA volunteers and the judges. Whether you know it or not, there was a lot of people behind the scenes. Our volunteers have been judging for the past 2 weeks, and they've been in person. We do have judges from across the country, representative of the different MESA USA states. Because it was virtual, we were able to incorporate that. So thank you to all the volunteers and all the workshop presenters. Again, trying to give you just a little bit of flavor of what we have to offer. Some of our organizations that we partner with were very busy these days, but they still wanted to take time out to do these very special sessions for all of you. So as you can see here, did like a pictorial little collage of our past couple of days, complete with the road trip across New Mexico. And again, at the ending at the bottom there with our New Mexico state with our logo with just a big heart to say lots of love from all of us here in our state. And we are very proud to have been able to host you. So with that, we're going to continue on with our program. And because in a traditional year, we would have a lovely, amazing group picture to share with you all. So we're going to do something a little bit different. I'm actually going to stop my share here so that I can turn on my view to gallery. And if we can ask everyone, I'm going to do take a few minutes if you guys are able to get off of camera, if able, and I'm going to do lots of pictures, some screenshots and some picture shots. So just stay smiling because there is no rhyme or reason to when Zoom moves around. I'm just going to take a few shots and put it together for our group photo. Okay, so everyone just stay smiling. Okay. Switching my screen. There's 4 of them here. Stay smiling. Okay. Again. Okay. And there was still a lot that had their screens off, but at least their names will be captured for all of posterity as our year 1 virtual 2022 New Mexico MESA NEDC competition. So thank you all for that, indulging in that group picture there. We'll make sure to get that out to everyone as the one group picture for our event. So getting back to our slideshow, I am now going to turn it over to New Mexico MESA Executive Director Ling Faith Hewards for some closing remarks.
Ooh, okay, guys. Wow. These last 2 days, amazing. I know I started with asking you all or talking about how equity, you were asked to design for equity in your community and you answered, but I didn't realize how incredibly passionate and how incredibly in-depth and in tune you all went in your answers to your communities. And so I feel very privileged and very honored, not only to work with my MESA USA colleagues and the team at New Mexico and everything we've been able to do in the last couple of days, but I had that opportunity to talk to some of you and see your projects. And wow. I'm not a crier, but I kind of want to cry a little bit because you all put so much love into the work you've done, and it gives me so much hope for everything we can accomplish in the future. So another thing on the screen you're going to see is this 40th anniversary celebration thing. I like to refer to it as New Mexico's 40th birthday. I'm sure you've heard many states and seen it in our chat over and over again, that a lot of us have been around for a long time. And by us, I mean the organizations. It all started in California. Thank you so much, California. It's the MESA program is just slightly older than me, like just a little tiny bit. And it's, yeah, just a couple of years. And so it's like, fantastic that we get to celebrate our birthdays one by one and know that the MESA's had this longevity for so long. So next year we will be in person. I'm just saying that because if I say it, maybe it'll very much become true and we won't have to do another virtual year. And we'll celebrate our 40th birthday along with celebrating NEDC and hosting again. And hopefully at that time, New Mexicans are big huggers and the pandemic's really slighted that for us. Hopefully we can get back to doing some hugs when I see my coworkers again in the future. So one of the things that we do when we are in person is that we like to invite, and because we all work so closely together, each of the state directors, executive directors has an opportunity at the end to say a little something. And so Anita and I at the last minute pulled that together today, and in true form, because we're a community, the directors at MESA all hopped on and said, sure, we could definitely be there for closing remarks. So with that, I'm gonna turn it over to my colleagues to be able to say some parting words because it's all of us together, not one of us. So. And let's start with Arizona. So I turn it over to Mr. Rudy McCormick.
Wow. First off, just big applause to New Mexico. It's been said in the chat several times, but to pull something like this off the last 2 days to actually have us kind of feel like we were in New Mexico, that's something that's just incredible to do in a virtual environment. And you all accomplished that. And so thank you so much for your awesome hosting that goes across so many of your team members, that goes outside of your team to these community members who have come in to kind of welcome us from across MESA USA. In the chat, I put a little graphic that we kind of utilized here in Arizona, which was asking the question, what if? What if we could change the world? And today, and over this last 2 days at the National Engineering Design Competition, we've seen the response to that. We see youth, middle school and high school, coming to the forefront with solutions that are seeking to impact equity. While through MESA, I want us to gain that STEM identity. I want us to walk away with an inventor identity, an entrepreneur identity. But I hope that for every single student here, for the adults that have had the opportunity to be here, that we also ask ourselves, as we're inspired by these youth, what will we do to be an agent of equity? Congratulations to all the teams. Best wishes to everybody, to our National Engineering Design Competition MESA scholars. Thank you, congratulations, best wishes.
All right, and if we can move on to California and Mr. Tom On, take it away.
Wow. It's not easy to follow Rudy. Um, so just a little bit of a peek behind the curtain amongst what the MESA directors from across the country do. I think over the past 2 or 3 years, there's been a transformation amongst the directors group at MESA USA, where we've gotten so much closer, and so we've collaborated so closely together. And I think the pandemic really served to accelerate that process and to bring us together in ways that I think are frankly unprecedented in the history of MESA. So, you know, New Mexico and Ling and Anita and Kim and the whole team have done an amazing job putting this together. But let's also not forget the job that Arizona did putting together the very first virtual NEDC competition last year with very little notice and no precedent to go with. But let's also not forget how we learned from each other, how we learned from Oregon doing some of the very first virtual programming that they invited us to, and introducing us to the Lemelson Foundation and Invention Education and the generosity of sharing their curriculum with us. So these past few years, although they've been very challenging for us as a whole, it's been a great opportunity for us to come together as a community. A couple days ago, we had a couple of alumni panels with some new professionals, young professional MESA alums, as well as some veterans who've been at the game for a very long time. And it really sort of reinforced this idea that we've been around for a really long time, 52 years. That's more than half a century. Almost as old as me, not quite, but a really long time. And that's not just California. I know Maryland, next oldest, at I think somewhere around 45 years, and New Mexico close to 40, and Oregon and Washington and Arizona. And so we've been at this for a very long time. And one of the things that really struck me about the alumni panel was that, we probably have almost 500,000 alums across the country. And the reason why we've been together for so long, that we've been around for such a long time, is not because we've had all the money in the world. It's not because we've had the support from all the great companies or the governments of the various states. It's not the money that's kept us around. It's the passion, it's the connection that we've developed for each other. It's the belief that we have to find a way to improve our own communities. It's that lunacy that we all share as MESA folks that keep our programs going. And when I think about the ideas and the projects that we saw today from all the different teams, the amazing creativity and innovation that we saw on display, it made me want to remind folks that, you know, you're not really competing against anybody. You know, you are competing with your colleagues, your future collaborators, your brothers and sisters who are in this to improve our communities, from now until the end of time, really. You know, some of the high school seniors who I met, you know, they didn't even realize what they were onto. Some of these ideas are things that you can develop and turn into, you know, the next great thing. Um, People who built Facebook started when they were high school, college, I think freshmen with their idea. So it's not so far off. So I want to congratulate everyone for their amazing work. And please look around you, get to know your teammates, obviously, but also your competitors, because they are your future collaborators, they're your future colleagues, they're your future partners, in this great path that we're all on. Congratulations, and thank you again to New Mexico, for a great event.
And before we move on to Marilyn and Dwight, I just wanted to shout out to Florida. So we've been so incredibly lucky at MESA USA in the last 2 years. Last year when Arizona hosted us virtually, and thank you all again, I didn't even mention that, but thank you guys so much from Arizona for sharing all of your wisdom. We couldn't have put together what we've put together without your help and that foundation. Florida is new on board. Last year we brought on Rhode Island, and you'll hear from Rhode Island shortly, but we have Florida this year. And so you'll see their state flag flying when we bring all the flags into the hall next year. So thanks to Florida, welcome. Been emailing with them, so you'll see them on our website soon too, the MESA USA website. But with that, I will now turn it over to Mr. Dwight Carr for some words from Maryland.
Great, thank you, Lynn. Can you all hear me okay? Great.
Yes.
Am I jumping ahead of Colorado? There we go.
They come in under R.
Okay. Hey, so, you know, the challenge with going after other people who have really great comments about such a great event is that you're constantly trying to figure out what you can say that they haven't already said. And thank goodness I'm not in Utah or Washington's position. So the one thing that I will point out that hasn't really been kind of expanded on yet, but it's been touched upon, was the alumni piece. I won't keep you long because I know I stand between you and knowing how you've placed in nationals. So I'll keep my comments short. But I just want to say, you know, when you think about your participation in MESA, as Tom mentioned, you know, it's an organization 52 years old. One of the things I like to say is that MESA was STEM before STEM became an acronym. So again, let that sink in. Before STEM became this hot buzzword, STEM was MESA. You're a part of that legacy. And we want you to continue to be part of that legacy as an alumni. So as soon as if you're off and you're graduating and you're about to go off to college, I just want to leave this with you. As you've heard throughout the competition, is that we've added 2 new states. It's important to mention that for Rhode Island and for Florida, they were added by the same person who happened to be a MESA alumni, Dr. Anthony Roll. So, you know, he believed in the program so much that he said, hey, you know, I got to share this with other kids in other states. So he has been a proponent for establishing new MESA programs so that other students like yourselves might experience the MESA program. So we ask that you continue to stay engaged with us. Even though if you graduate, if you're a middle schooler or if you're a high schooler, we ask you to continue to be in the program. But if you're moving on, we want you to stay engaged with us because we can use your expertise to reach back to the next generation of STEM professionals. So the last thing I'll say is representation in STEM matters. We are an organization that stands for equity and access in STEM. And without our diverse voices speaking up and sharing our diverse experiences and what we know from our backgrounds, the products and everything that we use going forward in the future won't necessarily be ideal and serve everyone. So before I say my last statement, I do also want to acknowledge the fantastic work of New Mexico MESA for hosting this event. This has been extraordinary. I won't even caveat it by saying that for a virtual event, for any event, this was very well done. Hats off to you guys. And you guys who are participants here, hopefully you were blessed as well as we were by participating in it. I want to thank all the keynote speakers, students, MESA advisors, for you all taking time out of your schedules to participate with your students. Any of the parents who joined us, thank you so much. And also thank you to all the volunteers. So last, I'm just wrapping up by saying, again, representation in STEM matters. So go from here and represent.
I feel like I've said enough, so I'm really not going to say more. We're just going to fly right by New Mexico and head over to Oregon and let Dr. Tong Zhang take over.
Yeah, it gets harder each person it goes by. But I will just say, first of all, thank you so much to New Mexico for hosting us. I just feel like the last few days getting a sense of the New Mexico culture and spirit has just been so amazing. And I really feel like every single thing, like others have said, it was done so intentionally. So I feel like finally we're getting a little sun and warmth in Oregon. So I almost feel like I was there in person, but it is obviously not the same thing. I'm looking forward to being able to, go there for future events. For those of you who've been around a few years, Oregon usually brings the spirit. So, that's, you all should look forward to that in the future. Thank you also so much to all the teams who presented. The range of the projects were just so incredible today. It really highlighted innovation, but I just think, echoing what everybody else has already said, there was a genuine care for community that really came through, and that really made me feel really emotional when I was looking at all the videos. So I really appreciate it. I also, final thing I will say is similar to what other folks have said about the network. We are now on both coasts. We don't really have anything in the middle yet, or not much in the middle yet. So we're going to slowly closing in from the different coasts. But wherever you end up going in terms of MESA students, know that there's just so many MESA people in your community. We all have MESA alumni in our organizations working in different capacities. One of our staff members that was hired last year, she's an incredible contributor to Oregon MESA now. She was an alumni of Arizona MESA and only came to us because she was so fond of MESA. So wherever you go next, just know that you have this really great community around you. And yeah, thank you again to New Mexico for hosting us.
Thank you, everyone, for your kind words. Gosh, we like hosting things. That's New Mexico. Benevidos. Welcome. So Rhode Island, Dr. Case DeGroot, would you like to add a few words in our closing, please?
Sure. I have one really major thought going through my head as I've been going in and out as much as I could and see a lot of middle school and high school students and all their work. And the thought in my head is I see the future of this country right in front of me. And it is a beautiful sight. It is a very energizing thing to see. And I'm just thrilled to be a part of this. And Rhode Island MESA is. And the other thing I would say, which others have said, is we've only been a member of this organization for 1 year, but it feels like we've already made friends for life, and the enormous, generous, giving nature of this network that is just unbelievable. And I can say to Florida, you are in very good company. So thank you to all the students. Thank you to all the advisors and people in the different MESA organizations. We are just thrilled to be a part of this. Thank you. Oh, and one more thing. This is an interesting fact about Rhode Island. It is 3% larger at low tide.
Oh, great.
The
We could all
question is, are
chew
you
on that.
currently in low tide?
I know.
Yes.
So everybody think about that. That's the fun science fact that Dr. DeGroot's leaving us with for today. And then on to Rocky Mountain Mesa up in Colorado, our neighbors. Cynthia Howell is the director, but we will have Danielle Ladd say a few words for us today since Ms. Howell is in Costa Rica.
Enjoying the rainy season down in Costa Rica. Yes, thank you so much. We just want to say a huge congratulations to all of the students and the advisors and all of the state offices, and a huge thank you to New Mexico for allowing us to fill our space with everything that makes your state amazing, the sounds, the sights, the tastes. So thank you for such a wonderful event. And this is our third year in the MESA family, but this is our first year that we were able to bring a team to the NEDC. And I would just like to continue to echo that we are so thankful to be part of such a supportive family. And just spending these last 2 days listening and seeing all the different ideas, it's awe-inspiring. The empathy driven innovation that is being presented, it's the future. And I agree, I get emotional. And so it was, there were a lot of times that it's incredible what all of you are bringing to the table, and you give us that hope, and we are so proud to be part of a community that is acting as an agent of change. And so we look forward to continue to grow with all of you, and thank you again for everything that you have provided for us this year.
Gosh, thank you, Danielle. I think you've coined a new term for all of us. Rudy just put it in the chat, empathy-driven innovation. So thank you. And let's move on now to Rebecca Ibarra, Becky in Utah, one of our neighboring states, again, a Four Corners state. Becky, would you like to say a few closing words?
Absolutely, you bet. And again, thanks Dwight there for mentioning Utah and Washington as being the last to follow. It is difficult to say something after everything's already pretty much been said, but I will say this. New Mexico, you surprised us with some really great treats. The music, the cultural and historical background that you provided today was very entertaining and very enlightening. I appreciate that very much. Learning more about the background of New Mexico, and how much my limit of spiciness, the popcorn got me. And that's really sad because I'm even Mexican, but it was really spicy. I did enjoy that. And I wanted to tell you all, like, felicidades and muchas gracias for everything that you've done for the state of New Mexico for hosting. I also want to just kind of look back at the students, and because for me it's always been about students, and it's always I like to put them first and foremost, and I think that's what we do here is we highlight what our kids can do. I was very impressed with our students this year in the presentation of their projects, what they've been working on. I saw safety, I saw childcare, I saw in the form of the safety in the form of homeless, looking out for the homeless people, looking out for the heat stroke people working in the sun, looking for the safety of people in the design of the bug, you know, and also in the detectors and all of the safety devices that we're looked at for our the community and the health and safety of our community. The task manager, of course, with the child care, looking also at cost, and especially in such a state of inflation right now where everybody's feeling the crunch of the dollar and it's dwindling, you know, value. And it's just looking at the cost in our utilities and helping us be able to budget with those high costs. And specifically looking at the health of our human people, and I mean that seriously, with not just the physical health, with the safety and the physical health with our the violence that, of course, the school, I think it was Chaparral that showed with the device in the purse, but also the mental health with the crisis that we have in the world right now with everything that's going on, especially with our youth, the mental stability of our youth, and tracking that and being able to help and be there. I think it's all about prevention and getting help for our public, our people that need that. But I also see a nice reflection of demographics as far as these devices go. I mean, it was interesting watching the migrant workers, you know, even picking the crops and knowing that you've got to have that heat stroke sensitive sensor. But also then you turn around and you see the kids with their coats on going into the refrigerator. And I'm thinking, yeah, that's probably not a problem in New Mexico, but holy cow. And the heat sensors maybe not a problem in Washington, but you see the different demographics that we have across this nation, and how we're all working together as a group to find, not just to identify the problems, but to go after the solutions and find those solutions pertaining to our own demographics, our own state, and showing as we do that we're doing that together as a group, wherever we might be in the nation, that we're working for the better good of the people of the US and the world ultimately. So I'm very pleased and very impressed and very grateful to our youth. I feel like I'm in pretty good hands when I see things like this that are being built and innovated and created, that you know, I think the world's going to be in some pretty darn good hands. And I'm feeling pretty good about that at this point. But again, kudos and hats off to New Mexico, to the team. You guys are amazing. But I will always, always, always stand up for our kids. Our kids did a great job. So thank you very much for all those who participated. And good luck to all of you from the great state of Utah.
Okay, and finally, last but not least, as I think I put in the chat earlier, we have Washington. And Dr. Gregory King, who is the executive director, is on travel. I know he's here by phone, but Liz Stevens is going to step in for Dr. King and say a few closing comments on behalf of Washington. Liz?
Liz, I believe you may be muted. Sorry.
No wonder. Here I am going. All I wanted to share was that you guys hit it spot on with the place of Washington being the last one, because everything that I had wanted to share has been said with my checkoff list going through like, oh man. But just to kind of wrap up, I think that all of us felt the emotion and the pride of all of our students who were present today, and thankful for all of our state offices, our centers, our center directors, our teachers, our MESA advisors, because we could not be here without you. And one of the things that I've been feeling is that you're really bringing back human into humanity by being equitable and just and inclusive in all of the design and solutions that you guys have shared with us today. So it's just amazing, amazing work. And the one thing that just kept coming to mind is one of the mottos that I keep, and I'm not kidding you, I keep this sign. When we got kicked out of the office, I brought it with me. I don't know if you guys can see it or if I need to step back. But what it says, be the change you wish to see in the world. And that is how I feel about our MESA program, our MESA students all across the nation, because it's going to be up to us to bring our talents forward, and especially for our students, especially to be able to make that change that we need to see in the world today. So I don't want to stand too long in front of the announcements, but thank you again, New Mexico. Thank you again for all the volunteers and for our students for persevering during this time that we have been in these last 2 years, because even though many of us and many of you had returned to school this past school year, there were still many challenges that had to be overcome that of course affected our program, but you persevered when there were so many that did not. So proud for each and every one of you and excited to see and hear the results. So with that, I will pass it off back to either Ling or Anita.
All right, thank you, Liz. All right, so it's the part you guys have all been waiting for. You've been listening to us so patiently, and I've got butterflies in my stomach as we go into these award announcements. Please know we are proud of every single one of you, and what Tom said from California is absolutely true. Competition is great and it is fun to win, but these are the people that you'll be innovating with in the future. So just know today we walk away, all of us, so proud of you as winners, all of you. And with that, let's begin. Rudy's got the drum roll for us. For high school design brief, in third place, we have Park Rose High School. So directors, team members, everyone unmute and clap for these awards. All right. Put it in the chat. Do what I gotta do. Second place goes to East High School from Denver and Rocky Mountain Mesa. All right, congratulations.
First year.
First year, and look at you placing there. All right, and then first place to New Mexico Next Gen Academy on Design Brief. Congratulations, Next Gen. Okay, moving on to
So now we're jumping. Oh, go ahead.
All right, go ahead. There's like now moving on to middle school for Anita. Take it away.
It's a lot better to take cues when you're up in person on the stage with someone. So now we're jumping into our middle school design brief. And so in third place from California, we have Orchard Park Middle School. Congratulations, Orchard Park. In second place, we have Chaparral Middle School from New Mexico. And then in first place from Maryland, we have Team Technostars.
Yeah, congratulations, Technostars. All right, high school academic poster. In third place, we have Park Rose High School. Congratulations, Park Rose. And in second place, we have Next Gen Academy. Congratulations, Next Gen. And first place, Costa Mesa High School. Congratulations on first place on poster.
And now going into our middle school academic poster. In third place, we have Maryland Team Technostars.
Woo.
In second place, we have California Orchard Park Middle School.
Woo.
And in first place, we have New Mexico Chaparral Middle School.
Woo. Congratulations. All right, high school technical interview. In third place, we have East High School, Denver, Rocky Mountain Mesa. Congratulations. In second place, Next Gen Academy, New Mexico. Congratulations, Next Gen. Great work, everyone. And in first place, Costa Mesa High School, California.
Now we're going into our middle school technical interview. And just as a note, the technical interviews were the one events that was done live. So all of these occurred yesterday, and the other 3 events were all submitted and graded ahead of time. So our middle school technical interview. In third place, we have California, Orchard Park Middle School. In second place, we have Maryland, Team Techno Stars. And in first place, we have New Mexico, Chaparral Middle School.
Ooh, all right. Okay, moving on to high school prototype pitch, coming off a day of really wonderful videos today, watching everybody's pitches and introductions. Here we go. We have in third place, Maryland, Mount Hebron High School. Congratulations, Maryland. In second place, we have California, Costa Mesa High School. Congratulations, Costa Mesa. And in first place, Next Gen Academy. Congratulations, Next Gen.
Now going to our middle school division for prototype pitch. In third place, we have Orchard Park Middle School from California.
Woohoo!
In second place, we have Maryland Team Techno Stars. And in first place, our middle school prototype pitch goes to Team New Mexico, Chaparral Middle School.
Okay, now for the big reveal. Some of you are doing that mental math. Here's our top 3 overall competition winners for high school division. Beginning with third place to East High School, Denver, Rocky Mountain Mesa. Congratulations, you all.
And I want to say, as we get into this next 2, this was a tight second and first.
Yeah.
More drum roll, drum roll, drum roll.
Drum roll. Second place goes to California Mesa, Costa Mesa High School. Congratulations. And first place
Goes to
Next Gen Academy, New Mexico Mesa. Congratulations, Next Gen. Congratulations, everyone. All of your hard work. Thank you.
So now we're getting into our middle school overall competition. And want to say in third place goes to Orchard Park Middle School from California. In second place, we have Maryland Team Techno Stars. And in first place, we have Team New Mexico, Chaparral Middle School. So, and just as a reminder, on the scoring, the overall competition was a culmination of all of the accumulated scores. So, the placements, depending upon how you scored, some of the point differentiations in some of our events was 1 point, 2 points. So it was a very tough competition. So thank you all for everything.
Congratulations to everyone. Thank you so much for all your hard work, for the respect and time you placed into the spaces and gather and answering our questions. It was truly an honor to be able to meet so many of you. I'm very proud of everyone. And now Anita just has a couple more things to wrap us up, and then you can sign off and celebrate this weekend. You all have done an amazing job.
I think my mouth is sore from smiling on Zoom so much. Very, very happy. Couldn't be prouder of all the teams with us today. Just very excited for a great end to a fun full days. And just the last pieces of housekeeping that we're going to send out is an email will follow either throughout this weekend or up to Monday. Email will follow through your state staff, and in that email will be a link to complete the event survey. There will be a link for teachers and there'll be a link for students to complete the event survey. So if you can help distribute that information, that will help us to continue working on our competition, on our events as we go forward. Also a note on awards. So how are we going to get them to you? So the awards will be mailed to all teams. I say placing an event, but we actually do have items for all participants. So we will be mailing those out to you, and the address we'll be using is the same address we took and mailed your Oculus sets, unless there's a different email and you need to email me that. So, but other than that, we will be getting all of those out. They will be custom made with the team winners. So they're going to start in production next week after this event. So they will be able to be customized and mailed directly out to you all. But thank you again so much for such a great event. Congratulations to everybody. Hope you enjoyed the gather space. Hope you enjoyed our virtual space. Thank you all for a great event, and we'll see you next year. So thank you.
Bye, everyone.